All right. Welcome to another episode of the Fitfam podcast. This is Hilary, Miss Natural Olympia.
And this guy is Doug the Formulator.
You forget for a second.
I did. What's your name?
So today we're going to be talking about some things that are really interesting because of this time of year. This podcast is being shot at the end of 2023.
It's November 1st. We are through Rocktober, which is kind of sad. Let's be honest. It's my birthday. It's Doug's birthday. It's our anniversary. It's Halloween. It's the beginning of fall. October's amazing. But it is November 1st, and we are excited about the upcoming season and helping everybody stay on track and get on track with their fitness goals.
Absolutely. And so what we did is we looked into some research studies as to why people have a hard time with maybe their fitness goals, that they fall off, and we'd thought it'd be cool to see what the research says, identify it, and kind of talk through it, like your personal experiences, what we've noticed with clients, with doctors, patients all around the nation, and things like that. So we picked 3 areas.
Yeah, so rather than give specific scientific studies, really, we're going to kind of go off of opinion and what's worked best for us and those that we've worked with.
As far as the answers.
As far as the answers go, yeah. So that'll be kind of fun. So take it for what it's worth.
Absolutely. And so I think that, Hilary's really good about like saying opinion and stuff like that, but really about what works. Because in reality is that science will confirm what works. Sometimes it just takes a while to catch up because studies take so long and that, but we know what works for professional athletes, for those people in the public, like that's out there trying to be healthy, for professional athletes, for doctors, patients, pretty much everyone in between, because we've been doing it for so many decades. And so even though it's our opinion, it's based off of what we've seen work.
And I think like you say this a lot, and my dad used to say it all the time, you got to play the odds. And so sometimes you have to go off of, well, what's worked for years and what's worked for most people. And okay, maybe that's the route that I should go. So the three areas that we're talking about today are failed fitness programs in general.
Yeah, overall.
Overall. So top reasons people fail at the gym.
That's a good one.
That one I'm excited to talk about. And then top reasons people fail at nutrition. And that one I'm excited to talk about, but also I think because that one has sometimes been a struggle for me, I'm really passionate about that one. So I'm excited about some insight that maybe I can give there.
I like it. So let's start with just why people fail overall in fitness programs, and they're trying to just get in better health, better shape. We say fitness, and a lot of people will think athletic, but really fitness is athletic, but more of an athletic mindset and body and energy levels, one that you're able to perform when needed. And I think sometimes people think, oh, that's just for the athletes.
Yeah, and some people think that's age related, and it's like, no, that is for all of us. That's for the young athletes that are in school, right? Whether it's elementary, junior high, high school, college. It is also for those young parents. It's for those seasoned parents, like maybe ourselves, and it's for those grandparents. It's for all of us, and whether you're a parent or not, it's for all adults trying to achieve the best health and longevity for their life.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. Number one reason that people fail fitness programs is the lack of realistic, achievable short-term results. So why do you think people, lack realistic, achievable short-term results? I mean, like, what's the problem there?
I think sometimes the massive or the big goal is such a big goal that when it doesn't happen soon or not as quick as you want it to, it just gets so, the word isn't depressing, but it gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
And the thought of getting there maybe feels daunting and unachievable. But those large goals are really, really important. But just as important are those small goals that we set along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, going a little bit more in depth on that based on what we've learned over the decades with people is that if you just set long-term goals only, that causes a problem. And that's the number one reason right there that they mentioned in the study. But I think that setting short-term goals without a long-term goal is also just as detrimental. And here's what I mean by that is first thing you should do is create what we call your health identity trait, right? You need to create who you are as far as your fitness level. That's just who you are. That's your long-term goal per se, but you're saying it as if it's today, right? So that's why we talk about having mine being the Zane Warrior, right? Or even if it was Miss Olympia or something like that, a healthy, strong person. That's who you are, knowing that you're going to get there. That's your long-term goal. But once you have that, you're like, okay, where am I at right now? What is my weight right now? What is my energy levels right now? What are my sleep patterns right now? What's my diet right now? And the short-term goal, okay, for the next 21 days, I'm going to do this, or 2 months. And I think that the short-term goal is the problem, that people don't have enough, truly achievable short-term goals. But it's also combined with, once they achieve it, then what? Because we've had clients that have short-term goals, and then all of a sudden they fall off the bandwagon because they are not staying strong enough for their long-term goal. That, they'll do the short-term goal and go back 3 steps.
Yeah. So I think maybe identifying clearly with your health identity trait, really deciding what fits and what feels right with you, is number one most important.
Absolutely.
Right? And then I love the concept of not every fitness goal or not every health goal is associated with an aesthetic goal. Okay, so what I mean is, you just mentioned sleep, right? Sleep is massively important in your fitness goals. And so making that sometimes part of what you're trying to accomplish in the short term or even long term, it can be really beneficial. So you can spread the net as wide as you want when we're talking about some short-term goals. Now, when we are talking about some measurable goals, sometimes, when we're talking about weight loss, overall, for example, for me, when I'm competing, we have to set that long-term goal, right? Knowing that by the time we compete at the very end of the year, this is the goal. But as we compete and work our way into that, it's not quite as drastic, right? Because it takes a really long time to get there. So we set smaller goals for a specific amount of body fat loss. Sometimes it's weight related on the scale. It's all of those things. So short term that is attached to your long term.
That's the key. And so if you struggle at all with that, because that is the number one reason that came up in the study on your fitness goals, why people fail, we want to refer you back to an episode previously that we talked about health identity trait. We went through a complete episode of helping you create the health identity trait. And you truly can get past the number one reason people fail at their fitness programs if you have a strong enough health identity trait. So go back to that episode, follow the things that we laid out for you to create that, and it will absolutely set a foundation that will help you achieve your goals.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Love that. Okay, and so there's 7 of these. Number 2 is lack of a complete health routine. So what we mean there is, like, for the example, our acronym FIT.N.E.SS, we are trying to hit every component of fitness. Your focused, intense thought. So your mind has to be strong and there and ready and willing to try always. Nutrition, of course, is so massively important for overall health.
You ever think about, like, when the athletes and they do something good, like they catch a couple passes or they're running and they do good and they're like, feed me, like, keep giving it to me. Like nutrition, like, keep giving me the fuel.
I don't know if they're saying that as much as, like, eating you up. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Feed me.
Anyways, nutrition, and then of course exercise, and then for us, specific supplementation, and really for everyone, because our food nowadays is sometimes lacking.
Yeah, it's not even a question anymore based on the research that you need to supplement, but the right type.
Yeah, so I do
your blood work.
Right. So I do want to mention here that when we're talking about your health identity trait and we're talking about a complete health routine, that does not mean that you never indulge, or that you, in fact, what it does mean is that you build into, for your personality, whoever you are and whatever your health identity trait is, what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be so strict and rigid that you never feel like you're enjoying. In fact, I would say if your health identity trait does not inspire you and allow for movement within your nutrition and your exercise, you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
So,
and was interesting the other night, we were on a checkup call with a couple of our concierge clients. And at the end of the call, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go in and have a slice of chocolate cake with pomegranates on it right now. And one of them's like, what? I'm like, yeah, like I look forward to this. And it's built into my routine to be able to have. It was a birthday cake that you made, right?
Yeah.
And every year I look forward to that, the chocolate cake with either raspberries or, pomegranate, something like that with it. And it was really cool to have that conversation with them, though. They're like, what? You eat what? I'm like, yeah, in fact, through the year, there's different things. And I probably enjoy those foods more than anyone else in the world because I look forward to them. I don't have them every day. I do love them, but they're built in. And if you have your fitness program in place, mindset, nutrition, exercise, and supplementation, you burn through those. Like
Yeah.
your body actually many times can use those as a
Right.
benefit because it's just burning them as fuel and it knows, to get rid of any of the toxins that might be there. So 100% lack of complete health
So a
routine should be built in,
well-rounded
Yeah.
routine. Yep.
which means treat meals.
Yep.
All right, number 3, comparing yourself to others. This is interesting because in the study, it talked about not doing that. Like that's a problem of comparing yourself to others. And I'll let you comment on that. But
We might disagree on this.
we might, because
Yeah.
I don't agree that should be in there. I think the way they were trying to say it, I agree with. They're talking about look at these people that maybe don't even have the same body type as you, or different things, and like comparing yourself and always feeling bad. I got that, but go ahead. What's your thoughts on not comparing yourself to others?
Okay, so I feel like it can be different at different times. There are times that if you're comparing yourself to somebody and it helps to motivate you and keeps you in a positive mindset, that is different. When you are comparing yourself and how far you think you need to go, or if somebody is that much better than you, or that kind of thing, then it is very detrimental because it pulls away at your self-esteem. This guy.
Daughter.
You better put that on mute. She's going to keep calling till you answer. Anyways, and so I think for me, what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. I actually do believe that can be very, very true.
You're on our podcast. Say hi to everyone. I'll call you back. Love you. Bye.
Anyways,
Sorry.
yeah, smart. Anyways, so comparison is the thief of joy. So I don't know that the word is comparison as much as it is being inspired or motivated by someone. I do not think you should compare yourself to somebody because we are all such drastically different humans, and the way that I can build muscle is going to be different. The way that somebody else can build muscle, the way that somebody else can lose weight is going to be different than somebody else can lose weight. The way that somebody, okay, let's hear it.
No, I agree. I think we agree exactly. Same concept, but from a little different angle. And I love that because the way you're explaining it's good and bad, it's the same thing. It's just where I was thinking was along the lines of like, look, when you look at the most successful people or companies or anything in the world, I love what Russell Brunson says. He said you should model after them and all the greats. And so really looking at it
different than comparing yourself.
Completely different. And that's what I mean by is to look at someone in this case, fitness program in the fitness world and say, wow, I like that. What did they do to get there? And then you're like, ooh, okay, I don't want to go that extreme, right? I don't want to take steroids or do those things. But, here's some things they do. They're very consistent with getting up and getting to the gym. They're very disciplined at this, and this, that are good things. I'm going to completely model myself after them. So comparing and modeling is two different things, but the only way to model something is to know what they're doing. And so there's nothing wrong with looking at what you're wanting and then seeing to get there. You can see rich people and say, okay, well, these rich people, they did these things to get there. I don't want to do that. And then others, you can say, awesome, they built this strategy and they followed a framework. And so from that standpoint, don't not look at others, but don't look at others like Hilary's saying, comparing yourself. Look at others to say, here's some of the traits that, I can model that. They're here consistently. I got that. Maybe I'll talk to them and see what they're doing to stay consistent at that thing I want to do. And the last thing with that was, I remember when I was creating my very, very, very first health identity trait, and I was putting the picture up, I was cutting a picture out to be able to do, and I can't even remember who told me. They're like, no, Doug, you don't pick Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. That's not your body type. You can't compare yourself to someone. You'll be depressed your whole life. And that's what made me look at Frank Zane, right? That body type, the size, everything. Oh, and so my whole life I've been able to, like, I got that. That's something that is achievable if I chose to make those sacrifices, because I'm comparing, apples to apples. So anyways,
There you go. That's key. So,
that's
okay.
good. Lack of time.
4 is lack of time. Lack of time. So, what does that mean? That means that you have to plan in advance, right? And sometimes it means you sacrifice something else to show the importance of a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
And it can be done. We work with way too many people that are way too busy in their lives and still make time for fitness and for working out and for nutrition, that I would find it very hard to believe that everyone can't make time. And if you don't choose to make time, then disease will set in and it will create an urgency for time. So
yeah, and you'll have less time because you'll actually not be able to enjoy what you're doing. And I like the fact that the sport that you compete in is, we're coming up on the World Cup this weekend in a couple of days, and then the Olympia, the big daddy of them all. And over the years, right, this will be what year?
this is the eighth consecutive year.
Consecutive year. Over the years, if we think back to the people that have won different classes, Miss Bikini class, even the figure, the men's open, bodybuilding, all those people, like even Nicole and them, we've seen people win the absolute top level of bodybuilding in their division that have been married with 4 or 5 kids and young kids. We've had some that have worked 2 jobs and then still competed at the highest level. Others had multiple businesses and run that, right? Men's Physique,
no, for
Masters,
sure.
those types of people.
Yeah.
And so really, the whole lack of time thing is, you can make excuses, right? Or you can just make things work. And in this situation, it comes down to your health identity trait too, because you do what's most important. We all have the same amount of time each day. And you can look at people all over the world that have accomplished multiple things. Guys have 70 businesses or 80 businesses, people that have run, large families or had large families and were able to work. If anything that you are in, other people have done that and been fit. And so really it just comes down to, what is your priority? What is your health identity trait? And the simple little hack that I'd recommend for people is, look 3 days. Just look 3 days in advance. For the next 3 days, here's my schedule, and here's when I'm going to need to train. Here's how I'm going to work my nutrition, and got it. Boom, boom, boom. And that way you're planning ahead of time, because that's the problem for most people that are wanting to be fit, is they're like, okay, I want to be fit and all that, but man, the day got behind me, or I had these meetings, or I had this going on.
Planning.
Kids, I had to take them all these places, so I didn't have time to go to the gym. But planning solves that. So 3 days in advance. So right now, look at the next 3 days. Tomorrow, look at the next 3 days, and plan it out. And if you do that, I think you're good to go.
Yep. So 5, lack of motivation. This is where it's really important to figure out your why. It goes back to your health identity trait. And so sometimes really acknowledging what it is that you're wanting the fitness lifestyle for can help you when you're lacking the motivation to do it. Nobody has motivation all the time. Nobody is motivated always. They just do it. They create a habit and it just becomes part of what they do, because their why, their reason for doing it, is much bigger than whatever lack of motivation they're dealing with that day.
Absolutely. And the best coaches in the world sometimes have a lack of emotion. And I love it, because in all reality, if you can come in and you have someone and they really have a big goal, and we know that if we have some of our clients in that, or even the athletes we've trained over the years, if their why is strong enough, then we actually don't need to even have emotion when we're talking about these things. Is we're like, okay, your goal is X. This is who you are. Why didn't you be 100 on your nutrition? Why didn't you be 100% on your workouts? Like, why? Just do it. Like, that's your goal. You know what to do. Do it. And a lot of times that's all they need, because their why is strong enough, and you can be that hard with them. Even your coach is like, why are you 90%? What's it going to take to be 100? Like, come on.
Yeah, which is great, but I am a highly emotional person. And so sometimes putting my feelings aside is difficult, but I do know when I do say it doesn't matter how I feel, because my feelings aren't always okay, this is going to get some backlash. I don't feel like your feelings are always real, or your feelings are very fleeting. I can feel one way 1 second and I can feel very different the next second. Watch it, Doug. And so once you've committed to an overall goal, then you realize that you're not always going to feel great, but you feel great about the goal. And so you just move forward. So I feel like movement is a very important aspect of, when you lack motivation, because, movement will get through
Yeah, absolutely.
not feeling like it.
Absolutely. One of our
Showing up.
clients, David Meltzer, talks about this a lot from stage. Just got back from Dubai, and he said that was the main thing that he felt resonated the most with the people there. And it was, they're asking him, what do you do to stay motivated? Because this guy's like doing, ridiculously consistent
Yeah.
podcasts and stuff on Instagram and Facebook every day, no matter what, right?
Mhm.
And they were asking him this, and he's like, look, and same thing with exercise. I have the 5-minute rule. And I really love it. And his thing is this, like, no matter what it is, let's say it's exercise and you don't want to get in the gym, right? And, or even eating healthy, wherever it might be, just, okay, for 5 minutes, I'm going to do it anyways. And so you go out in the gym and you're just sitting there on the treadmill for a minute, or just lift a few little weights. At 5 minutes, I can stop if I want
I
to,
love that concept.
right? And at 5 minutes, you can stop. And you just say that to yourself. But he says out of all these years, he's never stopped after 5 minutes. I probably would have a few times I can think of, right? But still, the most of the time, you're going to stick with it no matter what. Or you start preparing the healthy meal, or you do that 5 minutes. So if you don't want to do something you lack in motivation, just give it the 5-minute rule, and then see what happens. You'll find that you'll end up doing it more often than not. So that's
liked
awesome.
it.
Number 6.
Fear of discomfort. Doug wrote, suck it up. That was not me, that was Doug. So fear of discomfort.
Suck it up.
That's a good one. I'm not even sure how you address that, except for the fact that you acknowledge that you are going to be uncomfortable.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Pain makes me grow. Growing is what I want. Therefore, the pain is pleasure.
Well, good for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, honestly, if you can learn to look at discomfort that way, I think it is very, very helpful. Just acknowledge and be okay with the fact that sometimes things will feel uncomfortable, and uncomfortable isn't bad. Like,
Uncomfortable is a
understanding
place
that,
of growth.
yeah, uncomfortable isn't bad. If you can shift your mindset that way, that'd be great. I think it makes a big, big change.
Buddha.
I don't know what the Buddha.
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So with anything with growth, you're gonna be
Inevitable.
inevitable. So
You never
you don't
do
bite
that.
inevitable.
Inevitable.
Got it. Sounds like edibles. Okay. So basically,
I love you.
Buddha was right with saying, look, that, comfort, you don't have any growth in comfort. You want to be in comfort times. Like, we want to enjoy those moments. We always have those things we look forward to, accomplish the goals when we're in that comfort state. And where we grow in those is from experiences and those moments of time that we remember, with people. But actual growth, then there is pain. It's not, and it not be a hard pain, right? It's just out of comfort. But suffering is optional. It depends on your goals. Like, man, I'm getting there. Yeah, this kind of,
So,
like when you feel like, hey, I'm hungry. Like, yeah, that's your body burning those last little fat in the fat cells, and so that you can dominate, right? And being able to like that.
so let's, why don't you speak that one more time?
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Like that better?
A little better.
My way's right. Someone
Okay.
screwed that up.
And then, so 7 is uncertainty of workouts. And that one's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't understand your workouts, then it's going to be really hard to do them. So having a trainer can be really, really valuable.
The thing is, look, if you don't know what to do, and we'll get to that right now in the gym, the top reasons you found the gym, trainers are, you want to coach and get someone, even if it's for a short time, to be able to help you with that. So let's go real quick. These next ones are going to be quick, as some of them are the same. Top reasons people fell at the gym. So those of you that go to a gym, or have in the past, and
Or have gotten that membership.
You got that membership. and do that, then, why have you failed there? Number one's no idea what to do.
Okay, so this goes back to like a trainer and having a plan, but I will also say that each gym is different. We've mentioned this in the past. Making a circle around the gym before you get started on any exercise program that day and reading what each machine does. I do that, and I've been lifting for years. Doug does that, and
Yeah.
he's been lifting for twice as long as I have.
And well, the thing
So,
is we'll go and we love going to gyms, new
yeah.
gyms, right? We love going to. It's funny because we don't like going to the gyms like where we live all the time. They're great gyms, but we don't like going. We like being in our gym, right? And it's just a thing we do. But when we go places, we actually look forward to finding the coolest little bodybuilding gym or unique gym there. And I try to right immediately, why Hilary, whoever was kind of getting ready in that, is do that walk. What do they have? Oh, cool, they have equipment we don't have at home, or that, and getting to know it, and you do feel more comfortable if you know the layout there. And so
Well,
I know number one's not knowing what to do, but part of knowing not what to do is not knowing what's available.
yeah, but not just knowing what it's available, like seeing a new machine and not knowing how to use it, that can be very intimidating for somebody. But on almost every machine, they'll have a little explanation and they'll have a picture, and there's nothing wrong or weird about reading it and looking at. I used to feel so awkward to do that, and now it's like the first thing that I do. So,
And the other part of that is too is that people that go to gyms and have been there for a long time, they love to help. That's the one thing. A lot of people think, well, be a gym, they're there to show up and like make me intimidated. Actually, it's the opposite.
yeah,
I'd say
asking
with
questions.
99% of people, I remember being at a gym, Dragon Slayer in Vegas, and they had a new machine, and there was a guy next to it, and I'm like, hey, I don't have this piece of equipment in our gym, or have seen it before. How's it work? And the guy was so excited to like, oh, here's how it works, and here's what works this muscle group, like almost too much, and but it was really cool. So again, not knowing what to do there. One, get a trainer so that they can show you, but two, know the gym that you're at and take a look at what's
We're supposed to be going faster and we're not. So, two is no fitness goals.
boom, simple
Yeah,
fitness.
don't be going to the gym without a goal. Like, there needs to be a goal there.
And that comes to number three, which is no boring workout program, because it comes
Just
to
one.
no, yeah. So one boring, meaning someone set you up at a workout program that's all you know and you do, and it becomes boring, and that comes to two principles, and we'll hit them real quick, but these are real important, and it's the basics of being a trainer that a lot of people don't understand. As a trainer, we look at two main things when it comes to the exercise training. The first is called progressive resistance, right?
Yeah. So it's just an overload. So constantly putting some type of resistance on the muscles.
Yeah, and what it does is we have to facilitate adaptation. In other words, the muscle's going to adapt to whatever you're doing over time, and to be able to facilitate growth, we have to then put pressure on. So progressive resistance, always either increasing your reps at that weight, or better, increasing the amount of weight. So even in our gym, we have little 1 pound little plates that will stick on things, right? Just to have a little bit of increase. So that's one. Number two with that.
Periodization.
Yep. And periodization is the one thing that's really critical that we've learned over the decades with all the new research. And that is, it's a planned manipulation of your training variables. In other words, how much weight you lift, how many sets do you do, what reps do you do, and that we need to constantly change those up. So with our training clients, and even the optimal health trainer, our clients, even doctors, patients through the year, we have set up that during every 3 months, we actually change their programs up dramatically for periodization, to be able to give the body that ability to train in different areas: strength, fitness, cardiovascular, flexibility, and all that.
Mobility. Yep, for sure.
And so it's easy to do. Get a trainer that knows what they're doing, and they're going to set you up on a periodization schedule.
No, so number 4 is no accountability, which goes back to having a trainer, but it can also be a spouse, it can be a best friend. So just find somebody that you can be accountable with. And I don't mean somebody that's going to give you an out, right? That's not what it is. It's somebody that's going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
If you said you were going to work out, you work out.
And you have those friends. You have those friends who are going to be there and actually probably be excited in the day. Let's just not do that. That's not who you want to be your workout buddy, right? Your workout partner. You want that partner who's going to push you and say, yeah, I don't feel like either, but let's do it. And there's some things that Hilary likes doing better than I do, and there's things I like that she doesn't, and that's awesome. That's a great combo together, and then we're like, yeah, well, it is leg day, so suck it up.
Yeah, even though I have a different coach now, Doug is still my trainer in the gym, and there's many times that he says, okay, let's get out there, and I'm like, I don't feel like it, and he says, I didn't ask that question, like, let's go, it's time to lift. So having somebody that holds you accountable is really, really important.
The next one,
Number 5.
program not personalized. And two parts of this real quick. The first is you just need to follow David Meltzer's 5-minute rule. Get out and start exercising, right? And get going. And if you get set up on any program, if you're strength training during the week and you're, doing cardio, that's what you need to start doing. But there is a point in that I'd say up to like the first even 6 to 8 weeks that it needs to get personalized no matter what. A good basic program is great for anyone, but you do need to get personalized.
And that changes depending on somebody's goal. Somebody can be training for a marathon. Their training program is going to be much different than somebody that's training for a bodybuilding show.
Or training for reduction of heart disease versus training to lower blood pressure versus training for, help with arthritic purposes. So it doesn't just have to be in that world. Our programs are different based on that. And that's why actually we're finishing putting together the programs that we are for people that no matter what their goals are, that we can personalize it to them. So good. Number 6, feeling uncomfortable in the gym setting.
Which is kind of what we've talked about. If we all can just get to the same place, understanding that, nobody, even if somebody does feel 100% comfortable, they're not judging you for feeling uncomfortable. Like, it's okay to go into a gym and feel a little bit uneasy, and it's okay to ask questions and have somebody's help in something. Now, I wouldn't interrupt somebody when they're in the middle of a set. Not always the smartest thing to do, but when somebody's in between sets or somebody at the front desk, ask questions and get some answers.
Gym rule number 1, and is that people want to help you. Second factor is just don't interrupt a set. Wait for them, and you wait for them. They love that, and ask questions. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to turn out great for you, no matter what. Just because people are there and they love that people are there, believe it or not, the truth is that anyone that's in gym loves others.
That's the thing. And whether you're in great shape or it's your first time stepping into a gym, nobody really cares. Like, we all think everybody's looking at us and judging us. For the most part, nobody cares. Everybody's there for them and doing their thing. So be there for you and do your thing.
Yeah. They've got past that thing about being selfish. A lot of people think selfish is a bad thing. If you're not selfish about your health then you can't serve others. You're actually, being selfish if you don't take care of your health. And people that are in the gym have already got that. And so understand that.
Yeah.
Unrealistic expectations, number 7.
Unrealistic expectations.
This goes back to the whole thing about me wanting to look like Arnold or something like
exactly.
that. Right?
Yeah. Be realistic about short-term and long-term goals. Doug's never going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger because Doug's not 6 foot. How tall is he?
I don't know.
And Doug's not willing to do steroids. So, he's never going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just have a realistic goal and get with a health professional that can help you to decipher what a realistic goal would be.
Yeah, and we've had some clients give us pictures and we're like, hey, you know what, based on your body type and that's possible. There's going to be pain involved, right? But and let's go. And others, we had to change it. So number 8, the final one, giving up too easy. I like that that's number 8 because it just encompasses everything in there. If you give up too easy, you don't have a strong enough health identity trait, your goal. That you need to go back to the basics and the foundation and say, really, why am I wanting to do this? I want to be there for my kids, my grandkids. I want to have energy, vitality. I want to lower my risk of disease. I want to get on stage. Whatever that is, it's not strong enough. You need to get back to that. If you come into our house right now, we have pictures of the Olympia and World Cup up everywhere in our house. Why? Because it helps Hilary, even though she's a professional athlete, to not give up and to always think of that goal that's there. And so having that goal is really a great way to not give up too easy, meaning your health identity trait and then your short-term goal. What's coming up that you're needing to stick to your program for?
Yeah, so I love that concept. And then also giving yourself some grace, understanding that every day you're not going to feel like a superstar. And just because maybe you gave up today, didn't finish today, doesn't mean that you can't get right back on it tomorrow. My biggest thing for myself and for others is start again. Each day, start again. So it's those times when we give up and we stop, and we lose the momentum that we've created. Don't lose the momentum. And if you have quit, start again.
Well, and so I think we'll stop right there, because our next podcast is going to be on performance. And a lot of that has to do with nutrition. And we'll talk about the main reasons people fail just at nutrition.
Okay,
But
I
overall,
love
we're
it.
talking about why people fail at fitness and have problems with the gym, like not going after a while and that. And hopefully that helps you guys with a few tips. And what our real deep desire is that everyone understands pretty much with every podcast that it comes down to your health identity trait, focused intense thought, the nutrition, exercise, and supplementation. That if you have your fitness holistic program together, you'll be able to achieve your dreams at any level of fitness, whether it's to be a professional athlete, to have a long, good life, just have the energy and vitality. And fitness is where it's at. Be holistic, be committed, have that health identity trait.
And make yourself a priority.
Boom.
I mean, make yourself a priority so that you can be the best you for you and the best you for your friends and family.
Appreciate y'all. On behalf of Miss Olympia, Hilary.
Natural Olympia and Doug the Formulator.
See you soon. Keep chewing.